Polls came out yesterday. We were all busy, still in the aftermath of all the nonsense. And those polls said something that was crazy that the Democrats do not want us talking about. First of all, some polls have Trump and Biden knotted up. That's right, after 4 indictments, they can't smoke Trump. Trump is right there in the thick of it. And this is causing a lot of mumblings. The other thing is there was another poll put Donald Trump up by 1 point. Now, before you start panicking and celebrating, depending on what side of the aisle you're on, I got some Cornel West information I'm about to give you. It's not just that an article comes out, you got to look at who's the source of the article. That's what we've learned from 2016, 2020 about how things are manipulated in the media. So, this article, the first article is entitled, Biden and Trump are tied in the polls, Democrats have mixed feelings about it. And that's from MSNBC, NBC News, I should say, NBC News. So, we don't take this as a smear tactic. This is coming from nobody but Clinton. Donald Trump is pulling even with President Joe Biden in a likely 2024 rematch sparking mixed feelings about Democrats 14 months out from Election Day. Some are alarmed at the neck-and-neck race, while Biden campaign officials and other allies downplay the recent polls as meaningless this early in the cycle. And that's what you do say when you're behind. When you're not doing well, that's what you say. People need to start reading through the nonsense. You got to see through this. Look beyond what they're saying. They're going to say stuff. You got to have the ability to ascertain, like, is this real? Should I be focused on this? Does it make sense? We're 14 months away. People are jumping ship already, swimming towards Trump. Because that's where the easy money is for them and their niche or their savior, whoever is carrying them through this, their entire careers. Like they latch on to these things. The Democratic Party can do all the denying that they want to do here, but we see through it. And we know they're trying to put a spin. They're trying to put lipstick on a pig. They're trying to goose it up. They're trying to play it off. They're trying to act as if this is not a problem. It's a problem. Remember, NBC leans corporate, leans Democrat, leans centrist with a fang to the left, but it's not left at all. But it's the corporate wing of the Democratic Party. It goes on to say there are Democratic strategists who agree on an insurrection scheme and a torrent of criminal charges won't be enough. It won't be enough to stop the former President Donald Trump and a runaway Republican primary frontrunner from returning to the White House. Folks, you heard me right. They're starting to print it. I told you this is the most vulnerable the Democrats have ever been. Trump is vulnerable. Biden's even more vulnerable. And I'm telling you, it's the best time for a third-party candidate to rise up, one with the popularity of a Cornel West. And that's why the talons are out. Because logic would say, hey, folks, man, these people that have been talking about they don't like either party and they want to support a third party running, and our politics is horrible, and have been dining at the table, the buffet of, hey, both parties are horrible. And now they got Cornel West, a candidate with name recognition, international name recognition, who's getting 2 to 3 times the publicity and TV appearances as Marianne Williamson and RFK Jr., and what do they do? For some reason, some way, they make it negative. Some way they make it a negative that Dr. West is running. Some way they find a way to try to discourage support for Dr. Cornel West. At this time, you have to have the ability to see through nonsense here. But hold tight, I got another article for you. This one is from Vox. Now, Vox is even more feigning to the left than NBC News is. And Vox title was, Should We Trust the Polls? Should we trust the polls showing Trump and Biden nearly tied? So when I read that, mask kid, I'm like, okay. This is where they're going to try to play this off. This is where they're going to run the in around on us. But now, read the next line, Tim Black, and it says, yes, things may change, but there are reasons to expect a close race. So even Vox, that would carry water for Biden and the Democrats as far as humanly possible until their arms fell off. They would do everything in their power to champion for their savior, the Democratic Party, in the Biden crusade. That's what they would do. Almost as badly as those people in the independent media who will do the same for their saviors. The person putting their food on their table that gave them a career, that rescued them, that's been so friendly and supportive and making sure that they're able to achieve. But if you cross them, you are dust, and that goes for these folks too. That's what they're dealing with. You have to be able to see through the nonsense. Donald Trump might be facing 91 criminal charges, but across 4 separate indictments, but polls continue to show an extremely close 2024 race. And they're not even telling you that I got a poll that puts them up one. I got polls that put them dead even, dead heat, Johnson. They don't even, and those polls, solid. A CNN poll released Thursday showed Trump ahead by 1 point. Other recent polls have shown a tied race or a narrow lead for either candidate. The RealClearPolitics polling average now shows Biden leading by a mere 0.4. Not 4 points, less than half a point. Across polls. Basically, we're talking about a pure toss-up, and we're not even to the point where they're going to impeach Joe Biden. We're not even to the point where Hunter goes to court and more information comes out about how Hunter got his money and how any of that comes back and blows back on his daddy. So there's a lot to still happen here with this. Folks, I'm trying to tell you, this is where we are. This is what's happening. Do not listen to the rumblings. You have a lot. If you're a Cornel West supporter, you have a lot to feel encouraged about. Do you understand this is an unprecedented time of a weak Republican Party and a weak Democratic Party, a weak field? And the worst thing Dr. Cornel West could have done is run as a Democrat. Him running as a Green Party member, anyone outside of, but not just anyone, because let's face it, if he stayed with the People's Party, he'd be nowhere. Telling you, this election is the most historic election of our lifetimes. That's what this is, people. Which brings out the most historic backstabbers and cheaters and liars and fakers and smear merchants and who don't know who's getting paid off by who to do what to who and how long of a shank they have for someone's back. But I'm trying to tell you, it ain't going to matter because the people will speak. But in the words of a greedy 4-year-old who loves ice cream and cake, there's more. This is the cherry on top. Man, this made me feel good right here, man. This is a back rub after a long day of work. This right here is a 4-course meal, man. 5-star restaurant. This is it. This is 2001 Heat. De Niro versus Pesci. First time seeing it. That's what this is. Democrats start to panic about Biden. His low standing in the polls is finally alarming them about the political risk for 2024. I repeat, Democrats start to panic about Biden. This is the season of Democratic discontent as the party and its media friends fret about President Biden's low standings in the polls. The questions to ask are, what took them so long? And what are they going to do about it? Folks, I just don't know if it gets any better than this if you're a Cornel West supporter. I guess it doesn't get too well if you're being paid or if you're being influenced to not support Cornel West. But for those who are above board people, those fair actors, those honest dealers. We are in it. The latest panic comes amid polls showing that Mr. Biden, his job approval is 42% or so. Despite White House cheerleading about Bidenomics, voters give Mr. Biden little credit. He's tied with Donald Trump in the 2024 matchup, which shows how weak Biden is for an incumbent with a growing economy. People not buying it. I was the one that told you. Black voters, 49% of them say their life has not gotten better under Biden. They see no difference. And 45% of white voters say the same thing. We right here. We're in agreement. We're in agreement. Who says there's a race? We're no race war. We agree. Biden is not A game changer. The party freakout is on display. James Carville and Jim Messina, veterans of the winning Democratic campaigns, chiding the party's bedwetters. But some in the media are saying Mr. Biden should announce he won't run for a second term. He can leave office as a Democratic hero who saved the country wide off into the sunset. He could ride off into the sunset, pick himself up a new fresh ice cream cone, and it's still warm enough to drop the top on your Corvette, and forget where you're going and drive endlessly. And no one will say a word. He's got the time, he's got the place. Right now, he could say accomplished a lot. He got Trump out of there, and now he can leave it for someone else to do. Leave the party to the new kids on the block, and nominate someone for the next generation. Yet no Democrat of stature has been willing to say this publicly, much less challenge Mr. Biden in the primaries. For months we've asked Democrats who visit why no one's challenged Mr. Biden given his opportunity or his unpopularity. Their answer boils down to confidence that Mr. Trump will be the Republican nominee, that he's the easiest Republican to beat, that Mr. Biden has done it once, and that a primary challenger would be more divisive than it's worth. Folks, are you buying that for like 2 seconds at all? Do you believe this nonsense that Donald Trump is the easiest Republican to beat? Now, I don't believe that I got people that are that dim. Donald Trump is the only Republican that's running that has a real following of people that support him. We got people that support Donald Trump that would crawl across a mile of broken glass just to listen to him crack a joke over a loudspeaker. Pence doesn't have that. Cruz doesn't have that. Vivek doesn't have that. Tim Scott doesn't have it. Nikki Haley doesn't have it. So this is where you got to be able to put on your spidey senses, your thinking cap, your goggles, and be able to see through nonsense, because that's what they're doing. Come on now. Come on now. You're smarter than that. Folks, if you can't see through this one, I want your black card. For real. Where your black card at? Give me that black card. Maybe get you a beige card or something. Got to work up to the black card. Get you a prepaid card. Prepaid. Give me that. Come on now, give me that. Over here, listen to these people believing in nonsense. Trump's the easiest one to beat. Trump got the second most votes in history. Here go the 5 leading reasons why Democrats, not Republicans, not independents, but why Democrats are worried about Joe Biden and are getting really antsy and panicking already. Remember, we're 14 months out. And none of these reasons of concern have anything to do with Marianne Williamson or RFK Jr. Sorry. His age and his decline. His age and his decline. Oh my God, that's stuck. Not just his age. Age is one thing. We're gonna all get older. We're all getting older. You're older now than before you started watching this. You're older. You are 20 minutes older, 25 minutes older. How long have you been going? You are 15 minutes older than you were when I started. And that's if you didn't pause this video. Okay? But the decline. Oh, the decline, fam. That's the mental cohesion. That's the cognitive ability. That's the alertness. That's the being able to stay focused, to talk fluently, and also have your words make sense, not meander off in the stories that go nowhere. 73% of registered voters in the latest Wall Street Journal poll say Biden's too old to run for president. Mr. Biden turns 81 in 2 months. Number 2, and this is something we saw. We knew it. I knew it. You knew it if you watched the Tim Black Show for any length of time in 2020. The second biggest anchor around the neck of Joe Biden is Vice President Kamala Harris. Oh, that's right, Vice President Kamala Harris. Biden chose to try to appease the black folks in his party who wanted to just see a black person and didn't much care about who it was. And that was a mistake, because now he's stuck with her, and she is that good. Now, there are some black women he could have got that will actually be formidable and actually could that do possess leadership abilities that are that will make them a threat and make it a lot more difficult to say we got an empty suit. We have no vice president, but Kamala Harris was not one of them. And I know. You being mean to that black woman. I'm not being mean, I'm being meaningful, and I'm telling the truth. What she is not lack leadership, and she's not a very savvy politician. Things you need to be in the Super Bowl of political theater. Number 3, Hunter Biden and the family business. Oh, another dagger for Joe Biden. Hunter Biden and the family business. It's going to be difficult for people that see, this really hurts Joe Biden with independence. Because yes, the Democrats, in my opinion, they pretty much look the other way on Joe Biden's ties, questions about corruption, what have you, what his son got. But Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, getting $1 million to work with a company that's a Ukrainian company, and not having any previous experience. Yeah, it's going to be hard to get Democrats to go against that or actually call that out, but independents are sitting back like, and the Republicans will be using it. Know that. Trump's going to use this to his best benefit, and at the very best, the outcome will neutralize. That's right. Thoughts of Biden's impropriety and his son's ties to the Ukraine will neutralize the indictments that Donald Trump received. That's making them ineffective. Because a crook is a crook and bad thing is a bad thing. Those in glass houses can't throw stones. Number 4, the economy. The economy has rebounded, they say, the third quarter. Growth has been strong, but a slowdown is expected in the months ahead. And just like that, with the economy giveth, the economy taketh away. Uh-oh. That Bidenomics don't look so savvy after all, which was just a correction in the market due to people going back to work after the shutdowns. Had to check out sometime. Can't win them all. Last but not least, number 5, the migrant mess. That's right, folks. The migrant mess at the border is spilling over, man. And I'm trying to tell you, this is starting to stick. We got, notably, Mayor Eric Adams in New York complaining publicly. Like, hey, what you gonna do, man? Biden, what's up? Can't have my swagger when there's nowhere to walk on our streets. There's no swagger. This looks bad for Biden. And believe it, Trump will be using this. We know he will. We're going to use this to great effect. I'm going to build a big, beautiful wall. And now he gets to say, but the beautiful migrants are in New York, and they're in this place, and they've been bussed because they had to, and it's a good way to own the libs. I don't know what it's going to do here. The Democrats are going to be in damage control from here to the rooter to the toot. And what I'm trying to tell you, folks, is there's never been a better time for Dr. Cornel West to run a viable third-party candidate is what we have. It's a soft political field of Biden. Over 70% of Democrats don't want him to run for a second term. All the reasons I've outlined before, from his son's involvement, potential corruption charges. Son might even go to jail over the gun and the pictures and the other crap. And then we got the economy about to make a downturn, which is never good for any president. And no matter what you do, you can't rewind time. And what's going to happen? All of a sudden, Joe Biden's going to become spry. That ain't going to happen. So yeah, it's happening. This is a perfect storm of a lot of issues. And it's a beautiful thing because what we're looking for, folks, is to end this duopoly, end this damn two-party system and give us an opportunity to have more than one party, because what we really have is one party fused together, okay? Both sides of a fascist equation. And here we go. Now, what stuns me, folks, is that this unprecedented time, we've never seen the Democrats more vulnerable. The Republicans running with the 4-time indicted, 91 different counts. I don't know how you say that's not vulnerable. That's a vulnerability, and that's what people believe any of the charges. But at the end of the day, folks, we got people that would kick dirt on Cornel West at a time like this. I got to say, we got to question the motives of anybody calling out Cornel West and making things difficult at this point in time. But at the end of the day, folks, it's our resilience that's going to be needed. Do not listen to the naysayers. Do not listen to them. Don't tune them out. The table is set. All we got to do is pull up to the table and do what you do. Eat. Have a rebuttal, have a vision, and the people will respond. I want to know what you think about this. Put in the comment section below. I need some ones if you feel inspired and motivated by this new information about the polling, the matchup that's in the dead heat. One poll showing Trump up by 1 point. If that puts Joe Biden in a vulnerable position and you feel that and you think this is the time for a new day, give me a 1 in the comment section. Share this with a friend. Let people know, like I've always say, don't you let nobody take your cornbread. And I ask you why. Why you trust that Cornel West, this is a good time for Cornel West to run? You tell him it's a new day.